over the years, I've picked up a whole bunch of sayings and advice and things like that in running. And one of my favorite, absolute favorite, is run with your heart first. I really like it partially just because it's damn good advice, and that sticks in your head, but also because it's kind of poetic and that kind of appeals to that part of my brain that loves that kind of thing. So run with your heart first is just good practical advice first off. What it means is kind of run with that chest first. If anybody's ever run track and field, they teach you to go chest first when you're crossing the finish line, just because it projects your front part here forward. What that really does, as far as like practical advice, I'm a physical therapist. Physical therapists love posture. Posture is super important in so many ways, and whenever you're running, if your heart is first, if your chest is up, if your posture's up, what that does is that opens up so many things. You see many people while they're running, they got that forward posture, they're down. Sometimes it's just because they're exhausted. But sometimes it's just because of bad posture, bad habits that kind of gotten forward like that. And when you open yourself up like that, when you have that heart first, when you have that chest open, that opens up your lung capacity. The greater your lung capacity, the more cardiovascular efficient you are while you're running. And of course, that's really what you want. You don't want to be the person gasping, trying to struggle. What that does also is the taller you are, the less strain you have on these upper traps and shoulder and neck muscles. When you're forward like this, these muscles have to keep your head on your shoulders, and they're doing a lot more work when your head is forward. If they're up, now the bones are just holding it on, and it's a lot easier. So while you're towards the end of your run, whenever you're starting to get whooped and tired and strained, and the less strain you have on stuff, the better off you're going to be. You don't need to add to your already fatigue. Plus, the taller you are, the more efficient you're going to be having. It's going to activate these hips. We'll go into another video of why hips are so important. Especially like the drivetrain while you're running. But better posture means that the hips will be more engaged, and it'll work out a lot better for the running portion as well. So, practical advice, run with your heart first, get that chest open, and let's face it, while you're running, you're gonna look loads prettier. It's more important than you think. It's you just want to look good in your race photos and just while you're running around town, but also you're gonna feel better, like mentally. You're gonna be less beaten down because you're opened up a little bit. The poetic side of run with your heart first as well. We've all done that run where it's either a race or maybe it's a training run or something like that where you just feel terrible. Towards the end of it, it's hot, you've gotten beaten down, your head starts thinking. And when your head thinks, your head has a lot of all over the place thoughts. It's hot, I'm tired, it's raining, I'm cold. I don't really have to be doing this. Nobody's paying attention. If here's my goal speed and I want to slow down. If I slow down, nobody's going to know. If I walk, nobody's going to know. Look, that dude's walking. I get to walk too. Why can't I walk? You start thinking, you know what, maybe I signed up for this distance. Maybe I'll drop down to the lower distance. Maybe I'll slow down. Your brain starts thinking all these things, and your head is not the one that signed up to do this. Your head is not the one that has to live with you not meeting your goals. Your heart is where all this leads, all this inspiration, all this hope, all this bravery, all this drive to do something that seems ridiculously difficult. Your heart is what's going to push you on. Your heart is essentially where you remind yourself why you got into this. Your heart is what's brave. Your heart is the part that's going to push you further. Your heart's going to tell you, okay, we feel terrible. but let's go a little farther. Let's push a little more. Let's run faster. I'm Nick Cronin with Lafite Running, and get out there.